no, there's a God. It's going to take a little bit more than that from me. It's going to take...
It wasn't a mysterious glow.
Some hard...
Karen?
Yes.
It wasn't a mysterious glow.
Well, that's the way you described the park experience. The first
Bible is the one that got me.
Well, I mean, the first park experience. I'm not going to walk into a park and notice there's a mysterious glow and say that's irrefutable evidence
more than that
there's a God. I could say that's irrefutable evidence that something's going on. There could be a full moon. There could be very few clouds in the sky. Maybe a park lamp went out somewhere nearby so the stars are shining more light.
It wasn't night. It was during the day. There were no park lamps. It was not a sunny day particularly. It was kind of an overcast day.
The point still remains, though, that, again, if this is an all-powerful, loving being, I would prefer some better way to show it than through, relatively cryptic messages.
What do you want that showing to be?
I don't know.
Oh.
He's all powerful. He should be able to figure something out.
He's going to figure something out eventually.
But again, if he's going to decide that, okay, this person who has cancer, for instance, I will heal them. This person over here, I won't heal them. I want to know why. If he's got a rhyme or reason to the methods of picking, what is that rhyme or reason? Is it just that this person wasn't praying?
I don't think he gave that person the cancer, and I don't think he heals that person necessarily. That's part of free will. What I am saying is, I could have died from hepatitis. That wasn't the point. The point was that because so many other things had happened besides this, and this was just like another brick on top of a huge pyramid of things, that I finally got so angry that I asked for proof of an existence. And I was totally ready to believe that I would get no proof, and that I would then, therefore, be able to believe what I believed, that there was no existence. But instead of that happening, the reverse happened. And
but again, in the back of your mind, you did have that question that there is something out there. What are you asking, and who are you asking if you don't believe?
Do you not think there's some sort of energy force in the world?
I don't have any belief in that. I don't.
So you don't believe there's any energy force in the world?
Well, there's energy.
Not in the kind that you're...
Not spiritual energy.
I mean, the Earth itself rotates all the time. We're continually going around. But
that's gravity,
magnetic force all over. So you don't believe in any of that?
There's all kinds of different... No, we believe in anything that can be scientifically proven.
Well,
we believe in matter, energy, gravity, magnetism. We believe in that kind of energy. I believe in... what was it? Newton's third law, that energy can neither be created or destroyed. I mean, I believe in that kind of energy. I don't necessarily believe that there's some, spirit with a long white beard floating up in the sky controlling the things that we see and do. I believe in biology. I believe in science. I believe that things happen for a reason, and when I say that, I don't mean that things happen for a spiritual, religious reason because somebody's hovering over me controlling it. I believe that they happen because of some biological process.
Controlling it because he's giving you free will. But there's a new book out called The God Code by Greg Braden. I haven't read it. I am going to go buy it. And it's a new discovery that shows that there's a coded message that has been found within the molecules of life, deep within the DNA of each cell of our body through a remarkable discovery linking to biblical alphabets.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what all that says. Maybe you guys would like to read that book.
I don't know that one specifically, but I know you've at least heard of the Bible Code. You've heard of the Bible Code?
No, I haven't. I haven't read this book. I said I'm not sure what this book is about.
Well, yeah, this is it sounds like it's the similar vein. They have an old book called the Bible Code, which was basically if you go back to the old original Hebrew and Greek text or whatever, and you take we'll say the fifth letter of this section of the Bible, and it'll say something about JFK being shot, and then if you take the 13th letter of this section of the Bible, then it'll tell about Germany and World War II.
Isn't the movie Pi about that?
Huh?
I don't know.
See the movie Pi. I think the movie
a
Pi
lot
is
of
about
questions
that.
that you guys...
But no, I mean, it's a little bit more than that. But basically, that was the basic premise of the book, is that there's a lot of stuff hidden, essentially, in the Bible that if you know how to look for it, you can find it.
Okay.
Now, the problem with that is Russell Glasser, one of the co-hosts of the show, wrote a script for the computer where you put in any text file, and it does these random searches. You know, look at the 5th letter, look at the 3rd letter, look at the 26th letter, and stuff like that. And you know, he put in like the ACA Constitution, and he found lots of historical facts that were hidden away in it.
I have another question.
If you dig around in something long enough, and if you look at, you know, DNA long enough, you can find patterns.
Whatever.
there.
If you
it.
are looking for something, you'll find it.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I'm not looking for anything anymore, actually. Because,
Well, no, that's going back to the book that you were talking about.
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that, you know, for me, it's just simply that I'm not into a lot of organized religions.
Okay.
I'm not into a lot of judgmental people. I'm not into people telling me that you need to do this and you need to do that, otherwise you're going to go to... I'm not into that.
Yeah.
But, and it was a personal request from me to God, in anger, done in anger, not in belief, not in even wanting to believe. It was like, okay, son of a bitch, you've done it again, or if you really exist, why has this happened?
Yeah.
And I'm through. And, you know, give me a sign. It was really angry.
Yeah.
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 It wasn't pleasant.
And
It wasn't like I want to believe. It's like,
Right.
look it. You know, if you really existed, like you said, all of these things wouldn't be happening to people. Why are kids starving in Africa with flies on their stomachs?
Yeah.
Why are there wars? Why are people not learning how to care about each other? Why is there so much crap going on in the world?
And going back to that, I would, again, assuming that this were, you know, a personal thing that happened to me, half of it would be, you know, I would want to know, 1, is there a God? And 2, what's your explanation?
Of what?
You know, what is God's explanation? If he has given me all these problems to deal with in life, he better have a really freaking good
He's
reason
given you
for
free
it.
will.
So, what is that?
He's given you free will.
Well,
that's a totally different
that's,
subject that could take up an
yeah.
entire show, and I think that we should move on to the next caller. But, you know, we appreciate you calling in with your experience. You know, we always appreciate hearing people's experiences, and honestly, if it's something very personal that happened to you, you're never going to be able to prove it to somebody else. But if it helps
I don't want to prove it to anybody.
but if it helps you believe, then good for you.
It wasn't
honestly.
a question of helping me. It left me with no other answer but to.
Okay, good.
You know, it's like if you say to somebody, prove to me you're there, and they punch you in the face and say, I'm here, you say, okay, you got it. I believe you're here. You're here.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like there was a moonlight trip in the park. It was during the day.
Okay.
It wasn't like,
and honestly,
I mean,
if somebody punches you in the face and says, hey, look, I'm here, you're going to be able to see their fist mark on your face afterwards. You're going to be able to take a blood sample and tell that there's some broken blood cells in your cheek because you were punched by that person. You'll be able to feel, you know, take little remnants of their skin, their DNA off the side of your cheek and test it. And
so we all agree, in essence, that science hasn't gone far enough to give us all the answers yet, and maybe the answers we receive will not be the
and
ones
that's
that
entirely true, and I don't think there's an atheist out there that would say that if you could give me scientific evidence, if you could give me irrefutable proof that there's a God, I still wouldn't believe in it.
Why?
I mean, I don't think there's
scientific evidence?
Huh?
If they gave you scientific evidence, you would not believe in it?
No. I'm saying I don't think there's an atheist out there that would say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so you are granted you don't know that you'll never get that evidence.
Yeah,
in
I'm
your
not
lifetime
saying
or
I'll never
somebody
get that
else's
evidence. Right now, as it stands, I've never been given any evidence that would convince me to believe that there is a God. And of course, the burden of proof is always on the one that's trying to prove something. You know.
I guess that's for
so
you.
If somebody showed me evidence, if somebody showed any atheist evidence, the chances are we'd all believe it.
Well, that's good.
Now, it also
I
goes,
personally have been given evidence.
Yeah. And the second point to it is, again, even if, you know, there was evidence that came out tomorrow that, you know, look, the God, and again, just for an example here, the God of the Bible is, you know, the correct one, then I've got some serious questions and answers for him.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
because again, there's a lot of good, there's
I think
good
we're all a
things.
work in progress. I think
You know,
we always
thou
have
shalt not
serious
kill.
questions.
I'm pretty much for that one.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other stuff in the Bible and a lot of other stuff that I have, you know, serious issues with.
Right. It's going to raise a lot of questions if it ever
I
happens.
have serious questions, but I could get my questions answered by some way.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Good
Thank
for you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
Let's move on to the next caller. We've got 8 more minutes left.